wonderful humans, welcome. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make your very own clear cash envelopes, or in this case a cash envelope binder with a cool design. This binder is a $1,000 savings challenge, so it does have about 33 envelopes in it. It's rather large. It has a front and back design. The second envelope is a breakdown of every dollar amount you will need to complete the challenge, and each individual pocket has a dollar amount associated with it. Once this binder is filled, you will have saved $1,000. You can fill it as fast or as slow as you want. There is no time limit, unless you want to make one for yourself. To make this, you're going to need a cutter, laminating sheets, a laminator, a Cricut, vinyl, and transfer tape if you want to add a design, a hole puncher, and either an A6 binder or binder ring, whichever is to your liking. I will link all these items in the description below, as well as the envelope design cut files. I designed these and currently have them for sale in my shop. Check it out. Now, I will warn you ahead of time, I did remake this binder mainly because one aspect I did not like how it came out. So in this video, you will see me put the vinyl design on after the pockets are finished. Don't do this. Some of the vinyl actually started coming off, and it was a poor choice on my end. I will explain in more detail once we get to that part of the video. With all of that said, I now have two binders. The one I remade, I'm going to keep, but what am I going to do with the second one? How about a subscriber giveaway? If you're interested in possibly receiving this $1,000 saving challenge binder made by my own hands, make sure you're subscribed and leave a comment below, and I'll leave more instructions at the end of the video. I'm going to start by cutting all the insert pieces that will eventually be the pocket portion of these pockets. The dimensions you will need to cut these are approximately 6.5 inches by 3.25 inches. I'm going to do this 33 plus times so that I have enough for each pocket. With each cut, I do start by cutting off the rounded edge to get those out of the way. I don't need them or want them. So after cutting every insert piece I needed, this is where I discovered that I royally screwed up. I cut them all to the wrong dimensions. So here's a secondary mini montage of me doing it all over again, but correctly this time. The miscut pieces did not go to waste. I did end up using them in another project. Now I'm going to be making the actual pocket portion of the pockets. I am now going to take those pieces that I cut and flip them. The shiny exterior parts should be touching. Once they are run through the laminator, the shiny parts will not fuse together. This will leave an open space that will eventually become the pocket. Now, since we flipped the sheets, the frosted side should be on the outside. This will fuse together with the laminating sheet we are placing these into. I will be cutting these later, so I'm not trying to have them lined up perfectly in the full laminating sheet, but you do need to make sure that you are leaving ample space for the borders of the pocket that we are going to cut. I have the exact dimensions of the pocket in the description below, but I'll show them up on the screen now. I do want to add that you should make sure that the two pocket pieces are lined up as perfectly as possible before running through the laminator. So this is where I changed up what I did in my process for the second binder I made, the better one. Before laminating them, I actually cut out all the designs and added them to these pocket pieces. When doing this, I made sure to add the design to the frosted side, not the glossy side. So when it did get to this step of laminating, it actually sandwiched the vinyl pieces inside. So there was absolutely no way for it to move or come off during use. If you would like to see a video of how I did this, please let me know in the comments below. I am now going to run these all through the laminator, then we will move on to the cutting. Yes, more cutting. Well, I hope you enjoyed that small break before we started more cutting. I suggest the first cut should be the top of your pocket or the opening part. To do this, it's super simple since we already did all the prep for this. Make sure you are cutting directly above the pocket inserts, like leave no space in between. This will open up that pocket for us. Since the shiny parts of the laminating sheet were touching, we now have this beautiful pocket. Side note, I swear these thunderstorm sounds are not added in. This is actually what I was hearing while I was working. It was so calming. And this is where my power went out, just for a second. Now that I've chopped the heads off of all my victims, it's time to trim a little off the sides. You want to cut the sides so that they have about 1/4 inch on each side, and the total length is approximately 7 inches. I'm bad and I eyeballed the first side, and the second side I cut to 7 inches. This hasn't caused any issues yet, but I'm trying to ride on the wild side and not have a care in the world. You can totally be more precise in your own cutting. I was just kind of sick of cutting at this point though, so that's, yeah. After cutting the sides, I now cut the bottom. Since the tops were already cut off, it actually made this for a quick and easy cut. I just made sure that the height was cut to approximately 4 inches. It's official, the cutting and trimming is done. Well, at least for me. We'll put my Cricut to work in a bit. Look how nice they look, all trimmed up and... These pockets are almost pockets. I've chopped off their heads, trimmed the sides, and made them a bit shorter. Now it's time to poke some holes in these bad boys. I need about 30 of these, so I make sure that they're all there and I don't need to make any more before I totally commit to no longer cutting. Yes, and I have extras. I bought this hole puncher that is made specifically for A6 binders. It has different settings that you can set it on. For this site, I have it set on personal/desk fax. There's also a bumper at the edge to make sure that each pocket is getting the same positioning of the holes so they will line up perfectly. Oh, my dear Cricut, how you have been asleep for so long. Winky, winky. It's time to put you to work. I luckily had some of this beautiful vinyl sitting around, and I thought it fit the Stay Wild Moonchild theme perfectly. This savings envelope design was made by me. If you would like a digital copy of it to make these envelopes yourself, I will put a link in the description below. It is very Cricut friendly. All you need to do with these files once they are in Cricut Design Space is weld them and you're good to go. Or you can lay them out however you want. The choice is yours. Something I did learn before starting this project is to remove the vinyl from the Cricut mat by laying the vinyl flat and bending the mat up instead. This reduces the risk of creasing the vinyl. I'm so glad I learned this before starting. I'm afraid of how much vinyl I would have wasted otherwise. The part that I've been dreading, weeding, which actually didn't end up being that bad, but it's always my least favorite part. My vinyl was actually curling a bit, so I decided to use my Cricut mat to hold down the pieces as I weeded them. And I feel like this made my job only like a million times easier. After I was done weeding, I covered each piece in vinyl transfer tape. This will help with the application process that you'll see in just a little bit. While I was doing this, it was really storming outside. So for this section, instead of music, enjoy the sounds of the storm. This piece actually had a couple facelifts during the process. I found out while I was weeding that the numbers were just too small and thin, so I got rid of them altogether. Later in the video, you'll see that I thicken the numbers and add them separately. I'm glad I figured this out now so that if someone purchases this file, they don't have the same issue I did. Now it's time to apply the vinyl to the pockets. I must warn you, I'm 99% new to this, so I do mess up quite a bit. But I do get better as I go, you know, learning curve. So all you vinyl veterans out there, I'm so sorry you have to watch this. But also feel free to leave any comments with any tips and tricks for vinyl and how I can get better. I was originally going to put this into an A6 binder, but as the stack got thicker and thicker, I decided to just use some binder hoops. I will place a link in the description below on where you can buy these binder hoops. I actually prefer the way that this looks, as there's a front and back design that just brings it all together. So if you're interested in entering my subscriber giveaway to win the savings binder made in this video, make sure you're subscribed to this channel, leave a comment down below, maybe telling me what you think about savings challenges, and fill out the Google form in the description below. Now it's time to finally start the $1,000 savings challenge. You can fill these in any order, but I think I'll start from the front with $10. I use a permanent marker on these. If you want to reuse them, permanent marker comes off with rubbing alcohol, or you can use a dry erase marker, whatever works for you.